magazine, sitting here with the English teacher, Mrs. Williams. Hey, before you start, I just want to say my subscribers love you and they can't wait to see more. So we'll be learning.
So today we are space catting a song. Okay. So as you know, I teach English 11 this year. So very excited to go into Black History Month. Our unit number 3 is all about power, protest, and change. That's actually the title of the unit, which I love talking about things like this with my students. I think that, especially now with our new president and all the things going on in the world, I think that this is a really good topic for them. I think that they have a great deal of opinions about this topic. And I love to get them talking. I love discourse, and I love having conversations with them about things that really matter. So this is a really great topic for me. And then I like making learning fun. So this was just like a little tiny break from essays and really rigorous things. So this was a fun assignment. In my opinion, they don't really think my stuff is fun, that I think is fun, but in all actuality, they had fun. They did. I promise you, they had fun. Okay, so our unit is called Power, Protest, and Change. Their essential question is, in what ways does the struggle for freedom change with history? And then their prompt at the end of the unit is, what motivates people to struggle for change? So they're going to continuously come back to those questions. I have them thinking about those questions over and over again. Okay, so everything in our unit is related to those topics and those questions. So their song analysis is either an assignment where they are working in pairs or they are working on their own. Okay, so they're using the SPACECAT method to complete a rhetorical analysis. So they're using ethos, pathos, and logos in order to complete this. So before we did this assignment, I went over a whole Google slideshow where we looked at the rhetorical appeals. I had them take notes and we talked about it. It was kind of like review because they start looking at the rhetorical appeals in 9th grade, 10th grade, and then 11th grade we just brushed up over it again so that they remember it, had a refresher course, and what the rhetorical appeals were. Okay, so we did that first, and then we went into this. So I told them that they were picking a song related to our theme, power, protest, and change. So they only had to do one, or they could find a song related to all of them if they wanted to. Totally up to them. They had to include a complete copy of the lyrics in their assignment, edited to be school appropriate, no swear words in there, no profanity, because you know the powers that be might look at our assignments and can't have any profanity in there. And then they had to color coded that so that it represented the different elements of SPACECAT. And then you'll see it in the worksheet down here. They had to do a tiny bit of research on the artists that they chose. And I told them it could be any genre. It could be hip hop, it could be R&B, it could be, I don't know, whatever they wanted to do, okay? You know what I like, hip hop and rap and stuff. Okay, so I was like, yeah, whatever you want to do. One of my students actually was like, he's going to pick a song in Spanish, and then he's going to translate it for me. I was like, yeah, do what you do. Okay, so I picked Lose Yourself by Eminem, okay? And the reason I decided to pick Eminem is because I felt like he embodied the topic. I felt like the themes and every single thing that we were going to be talking about, and I really liked the song. So they we're given the digital copy, and then of course, because I like to give choices, I printed a bunch of these copies as well. Some of my kids love to write. They are sick of looking at the computers because we use the computers all day. So gave them that choice. And then I also gave them an example, of course, because some of us cannot just look at directions and then go into an assignment and do it. Some of us need to see an example. What are you expecting me to do? So, us teachers, we should go through the assignment and do it ourselves too. So here is the assignment completed so that the students have something to look at as they are going through it and doing the assignment themselves. So SPACECAT basically has every single thing that they need to do as they're going through this rhetorical analysis. So the S in SPACECAT is for the speaker. And then here in this box, it has all of these questions that helps them know what they need to put over here in this box. And then the P is for purpose, the A is for audience, this C is for context, this E is for exigence, this C is for choices, this A is for appeals, this T is for tone, and then down here is where they put the lyrics. So in the box for speaker, the questions here say, who is the speaker / writer? What do we know about them? What can you tell, or what do you know about the speaker that helps you understand the point of view expressed? Okay, so here's where they do a little bit of research about the artist that they chose. So Eminem, aka Marshall Mathers, was born in Missouri, moved to Detroit at the age of 11, grew up poor and abused, which is super important because that's what inspired him to write this song. He began rapping at the age of 11, but missed a lot of school, so he dropped out and was determined to make it big in music. Super important because musicians are writing songs, right? And then when I get down here, you'll see that under choices, there are a lot of literary terms and devices that are used in this song. So even though he dropped out, he was still very literate, okay? So, also a rapper and a music artist. The song comes from the movie 8 Mile, which is a semi-autobiographical film, which is where the song comes from. He was really influential in changing the music industry, which was predominantly black, right? And he's a white music artist. So I thought that was really inspirational for the kids to hear too, because breaking into the music industry was really difficult for him, because being an industry that's predominantly black and him being a white artist, he had a difficult time. People didn't really respect him at first, right? But his skills spoke for themselves. Then we have P, which is for purpose. When you're doing a rhetorical analysis, you always want to know what your purpose is first. So, of course, we are going to look at what is the writer or the author's purpose. So what is the speaker or the writer hoping to accomplish? What is the reason behind this piece? What do they want the audience to do after having listened, right? So his purpose was to inspire others to take their shot at making their dreams come true, and to show how music can help people make their way out of poverty. He used this song to express the hardships endured to make it where he is today, and to emphasize that fame is not easy to obtain. It takes hard work and also determination. And I thought that was really good for the kids to hear, because they're 11th graders. They're going into 12th grade pretty soon, and I want them to follow their dreams. I want them to work as hard as they can. Tell you a little secret, they're lazy. They hate working. They don't want to do it. And they know that it's so easy to just cheat, to use AI, and to not work hard. They don't really have to do it. Oops. And so they try as hard as they can to not work. So I try to show them little things like this to try and inspire them to work harder. So then we have A, which is for the audience. who is the speaker or the writer trying to reach, right? So knowing the purpose is great, but you also have to know who are you trying to reach. So who is your artist trying to reach as well? How do you know who they are trying to reach? And then do they indicate a specific audience? What assumptions exist in the text about the intended audience? So then, of course, the artist is trying to reach anyone who will listen, right? Because they're trying to sell songs. So the fans and anyone listening, this is not only music, but it's a soundtrack on a film. So you're going to get moviegoers, people who are looking at the film that are going to hear this song. And then this is also pointed out in the intro when he directly addresses the audience by saying you several times, right? Then we have the first C, which is for context. What is the time and place of this piece? The students also had to do a tiny bit of research here. So what is happening in the world as it relates to the subject of the speech or the speaker / writer. So this song, once again, and I told them, I said, if you repeat yourself, it's okay. This song comes from the movie 8 Mile, which was set in the year 1995, once again in Detroit, Michigan. And then the movie is about a young rapper who is struggling to make it in the city's rap scene. Once again, semi-autobiographical. I have to say that word in syllables. I told the kids that too. They cracked up. They're like, Miss, you're crazy. And then we talked about how rap started to change a little bit in the 1990s. It went from a marginalized genre to being more popular around the world. And then, once again, it was predominantly black. So, you know, white guy trying to make it into the rap scene. They had to work really, really hard. But he did it. He should be proud. Then we talked about the exigence. So it was the spark or the catalyst that moved the speaker or the writer to act or to write. And then how did that specific event impact the speaker or the writer? So Eminem wrote the song to fit not only his character in the film 8 Mile, but also to describe his real life experiences. Eminem's life experiences leading up to the song's release were all sparks in making the song happen. And then we talked about how artists often include things about their real life in their music. And then how his popularity and success made the movie a hit, and then also the song popular as well. And then the other C is all about choices. And then this is what I was talking about earlier, where you talk about the literary terms or devices. So here we talk about the rhetorical choices that the speaker or writer makes in the speech. Think about the overall structure, the devices, diction, syntax, etc. So here I talked about how he used connotations, so the use of slang throughout the song. And then I just list what he uses. And then he uses repetition, similes, imagery, alliteration, metaphors, and then anaphora as well. And then here I talked about the rhetorical appeals. So ethos, logos, pathos. Where are they present, and then why? Oh, I'm busting out of my dress. And then I said ethos and pathos are present. Ethos is established because we know who the speaker is, and once again that the song is about his life. And that Eminem uses his personal experiences and struggles growing up. And then about his road to fame to inspire the song. Pathos is present in the intro when he asks the rhetorical question about taking one's chance or letting it slip. And then in the outro when he simply states that you can do anything you set your mind to. And then we talked about the tone. So what is the speaker or the author's attitude towards the subject? Is the tone the same throughout the whole piece? Where does it shift? Where where or what is the evidence that demonstrates the tone? And then I told them here they could also put how the song made them as the audience feel. So like the tone and the author or speaker's attitude also impacts the audience. So this song has an urgent and aggressive tone. Eminem's attitude toward the subject is one of urgency and pressing upon the audience the importance of taking one shot at capturing their dreams. He has moments of aggression and frustration when talking about his personal experiences and the difficulties that fame has brought him. The song begins with more of a nervous and urgent tone. Then in verse 3, it shifts to a more aggressive one. The evidence of this shift is not only in Eminem's performance, but also in the words he uses. He immediately starts the verse with more aggressive language, profanity, and imagery. And then I played the song for them. They were like, no, don't play it. But then they were dancing and singing to it. And then I rapped a little bit. They were like, Miss Williams got bars. And then down here, I have the lyrics and then I color coded the different parts. And they had to do the same thing. And then, so this was their formative assignment, right? This was the fun one. So this is where they're actually just learning how to break apart the different parts of the song for SPACECAT, so the speaker, the purpose, the audience, context, so on and so forth. And then their summative assignment, they're going to do all of this for a different text. They're looking at Lincoln's inaugural address, which is going to be a little bit different, not as fun for them. It's not going to be fun. Yeah, it's going to be more difficult, a lot more difficult. But
Excellent.
That is how you SPACECAT a song.
Applause. Like, thank you for your service. You're an excellent teacher. And, looking forward to doing more interviews as long as I can fit in your busy schedule. I've been trying to get this interview for the longest right now. So she'll be back. It's more to come. Make sure everybody hit that like button, hit that share, subscribe. Thank you again, Mrs. Williams. I'm out.
If you want to support me, make sure you go ahead, Nene Marie 37 in her inbox if you want a signed copy of my book, man.
Turn me up.